that's much more liberal and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was wondering about this because being in New York City and New York State, I mean, I haven't been there in 2 years. I'm going this summer. When a comedian makes a joke about COVID and about the vaccine, because I know some comics, because I've been on Zoom, and and so some of these comics, I know people from New York City I've met. I know a lot of people through Zoom, and they've been great people, but sometimes they're making these jokes about the vaccine and about COVID, and and they don't even believe that they don't even believe they're against the vaccine, against this, but that's not really true. And it's kind of like, is it too early to be making those kind of jokes in your sets? Because you think about it, if you look at an audience, how many people know somebody in New York City or New York that have died from COVID? That's like making a joke about a shooter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's uncomfortable for the audience. Yeah. No, that's not, you're not really joking at that point because we've all been through it.
Yes.
Right. So it's not like a joke where it's only a joke like, I don't know if you heard the story when I was in Hawaii a couple of years ago, we all got a text on our phone, an alert text with capital letters with an alarm going, this is not a drill. We have missiles heading our way.
Exactly.
I thought I was going to die that day. My
exactly.
husband and I woke up and my kids were
I remember that.
And I said, do we wake up the kids or do we just let them die in their sleep? I don't know what to do. Like as a mother, it's the sickest thing. 37 minutes of like, we don't know what the fuck's happening. People were going down into sewers because they wanted a bomb shelter. So it was a very frightening time. So we all were able to joke about it in Hawaii. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we all went through it collectively. And so in order to relieve stress, there are third world countries now, and this is a fact, they are not allowed to do comedy, but they do underground comedy shows because they need it. And that's why I also wrote that chapter in the book about laughter, because it's not a vacation. I mean, it's not a luxury. It's an actual necessity because it's a way to relieve your brain from stress. And so we were able to cope with it through comedy. Like I'll laugh at a funeral sometimes. It's not even a joke. Like I can't.
Oh, my family, that's my family. We cope with every tragedy with laughter. And some people may find it mortifying, but that's how we cope. I come from a family that no matter how shitty things are, we will find a reason to laugh.
Right. I do too soon jokes. I just did one today. I think I wrote it on Twitter. I do too soon jokes. I just do. Remember the Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
So the guy that was behind the music that sang the actual song died today at 66.
Did he?
From COVID, from a battle of COVID. And I wrote, I guess the mask didn't work twice. Too soon? Too soon?
Well, and here's the thing. I guess you have to know your audience.
No, that's not too soon at all. That
was like right after that happened.
That's okay.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I joke about the pandemic, I'm not saying it's not real. I would never do that because I know also it would divide the room.
I'm a lesbian. I can recall plenty of gay people that were very much attacked and beaten up for just being gay. So I can relate to that hatred. Obviously, I understand it.
Oh, no, it is.
But gosh, I'm like, why so much hate for the Jewish people? I really wish I learned more about this when I was young.
Well, I tell you the truth, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So when I hear a celebrity or a comic that's not even Jewish or Palestinian say, I'm on the side of Palestine, I'm on the side of Israel. How about don't be on a side? Just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, you should be neutral.
You don't know. And now you just divided your room. You just divided as an actor. You divided yourself. Now you got people hating you because look. A lot of people don't like what I have to say politically, but I'm a straight shooter. I say what I feel at the time. I will insult someone the exact same way I'll give them a great compliment. I don't shy away from giving another woman a compliment. I lift others up. But if I am going to call you out, I'm going to do it equally the way I will give you a compliment. I'm fair. So even if it's my own kid and they're doing something wrong, I'll be like, you're right. My kid fucked up.
Hey, I love that. You know what? I kind of went hard with that though, Victoria, with my kids. I was that mother in the neighborhood when some shit went down and another mother came to my door. I was the first thing out of my mouth was, what'd she do?
Yeah. My mother
and my daughter was like, I didn't do anything. Why do you always lead with that? I'm like, because mommy's not delusional, okay?
We
And
know
I'm gonna
you.
own
We know
you,
you.
little fuckers,
Yeah,
and whatever
we know you.
you've done. But it was always a joke with my kids that like, don't even go to my mother because she's adamant. But there was I wasn't one of those mothers that said, never my kid. I was the opposite. I was like, what'd she do?
But then now when I hear woke teachers and Zoom classes and my daughter reports that shit, I'm like, you know what? I'm a step away from telling the teacher off.
How old are your kids, Victoria?
My youngest is 15 going on 80. My other is 19 going on 20 soon. And the other one's turning 21. My son is turning 21. But they're all very accomplished, very, very smart kids, very bright, very independent. My son went to all around the world at age 16. We took him out of school in Hawaii. That's not unheard of. A lot of people take their kids out of school early at homeschool. So he was working around the house doing things like that and learning the business that my husband's in. And he learned more in those last 2 years. He went on a trip around the world and wrote a book about it at 16 years old.
Wow.
$35 a day. He ended up at the Mount Everest base camp. He ended up taking a bike all the way through Germany. If I tell you, he wrote a book about it. It's called The Making of Bearzilla by Sam Arnstein. If you read this book, you'll be amazed. It was like The Amazing Race. My husband sent him an email every 3 days of where to go. He had no idea where he was going next. He had to do chores. He had to plant something near the Chinese airport. He had to find a way to do certain things that my husband was giving him chores to do. It was like a scavenger hunt. And he did this for like 37 days. He would have done it longer, but he had to come home for my daughter's graduation in high school.
Well, my dog, we adopted a dog that eats change. He loves to eat money. And then he goes out in the yard and he shits. So my yard is full of coins.
Oh my God.
When my kids needed gas money, that was when I sent them on a scavenger hunt. I said, go out in the yard and forage for your gas money because the dog shit it all out. So I guess I'm like you when it comes to raising up.
So funny. Is the dog Jewish?
He could be.
Sounds like he likes money a lot.
The Jewish like the money,
Exactly,
right? Is that the stereotype, right? Obviously,
well,
Jews
listen, we have stereotypes for a reason. Why did they say that Jews
stereotypes are based on reality? Hello.
Right. So why are Jews cheap? Because we came here with nothing. We were kicked out of every fucking place we were in. If you watch Fiddler on the Roof, you'll see one scene alone at the end. They're walking out because they're being chased out of where they live. We weren't welcome anywhere. We know I could take rejection like nobody could take rejection. You could come at me and I will just I just brush it off. Yeah, will I get angry? Will I tell someone off? Sure. But then it goes away. I don't get to that offended stage where I'm so used to it. And I'm so used to it. And I don't mind confrontation. My mother, very classy woman. She doesn't confront people. She's not confrontational. She gets embarrassed when I do it. When I do it, she tells people, oh, she's a comedian. Like now she has a word for it. She's always making excuses. Oh, she's a comedian. She's a comedian. I'm like, Mom, I was always a fuck up. She's like, I know, but now we have a name for you. Like, there's things that my mother is like, very, very, like very classy, very demure. She's like a Melania Trump. You know what I mean? Like she's very classy. She won't fight with anybody, not publicly anyway. So like, I'm the opposite, and she doesn't get it. But I have a lot of fire in me from my father. Like I have that, but she doesn't get it. But the truth of the matter is she does admire it a lot of times. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, my mother is a very classy, a very classy, stern, tall, gorgeous German woman, but she will cut a bitch. Okay.
Good.
So my mother will cut a bitch. Okay. I saw my mother beat up a dude before. Okay. She don't play. Ricky, do not play. She will take someone out with a heel like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But So, okay. So, Victoria, let's talk about your book.
Oh. Yes, and your son's book later on. I would love to, because I'm a teacher, so I'd love to find books.
Really? I wish I had his book on me right now, but I think he took it to another room. But anyway,
okay. Well, your book first.
This is my book called Impress Yourself. I used to be a health coach, so it's not just about it's about different aspects of health. Like the 8 pillars of health that I was talking about, which is people don't realize sunlight, the basic sunlight. People don't realize how much they need sunlight. Do you need it every single day? No. because obviously it rains sometimes. But you need sunlight and you need fresh air, and that's why wearing a mask all the time is not healthy. You need hydration. People are walking around dehydrated and don't even know it. 98% of the population is walking around dehydrated. Even talking in a conversation for an hour, you have to replenish that with water because you lost a lot of water. People don't realize every time they eat food, their body is absorbing the water in their body from the food. That's why I eat a lot of fruit, because it's adding water. Do you know what I mean? So, and you're also eating fruit because it takes a lot of the sunlight that it already was enriched with, and it's giving yourself the nutrients that you need. And people don't realize that's the perfect package of food. You know, it comes in its own package with sterilized water, and it's got all the glucose you need.
So the Lay's potato chips aren't any good for me. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, the Lay's potato chips are good for stacking them up and
well, Victoria, I had weight loss surgery right before the pandemic. Yeah, I did. And I only lost 65 pounds, but I got off of my insulin. I got rid of my type 2 diabetes. I no longer have to give myself injections.
That's great.
I've got rid of the neuropathy in my legs and feet.
Wow.
So I feel like maybe I've won. Am I still forging along? Absolutely. Did the pandemic throw a kind of a wrench in my weight loss?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm maintaining, and physically I feel better.
You got gastric bypass or the band?
No, I got the sleeve. I did not get the now. I feel like I should have got the bypass because I deserve more punishment. I can eat anything still, and very rarely do I get sick. If I would have got the bypass, I would be getting sick, and I need to be punished. And my doctor told me, if this doesn't work, you can always come back and we can revise it. But you know what? My thing was, I needed to feel physically. I needed to do it for me physically.
Yes.
Or, I'm on my feet all day at work. I've got bad knees. Mm-hmm. Being on your feet 8 hours, being overweight.
What do you do for work?
I work in a kitchen. I'm a cook.
All right.
Pizza. The pickle pizza is what we became famous for.
Fun.
Yeah. We got
I haven't had dairy cheese in about, oh my God.
Yeah. We went viral. I got 1.5 million views on my pizza. We were on Rachel Ray, Dr. Oz. We were all over.
This is like Mystic Pizza.
Yes, I'm Mystic Pizza, except I'm not nearly as hot as Julia Roberts. But
I love that movie.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't it one of the best? It certainly was. But yeah, I did that, and I probably need to walk more, but when I get home from work, I'm tired. A bitch is tired, but.
Did you change your diet at all when you first got it?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of high protein.
5 pounds is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I need to lose a lot more, but I'm gonna truck along, and like I say, physically I feel a lot better. Am I 100%? Absolutely not. Do I have to get both my knees replaced? Yes, I'm buying time. I'm buying time.
I just had foot surgery, so I know exactly. If you saw my foot, it looks like Frankenstein. I had foot surgery where my foot was flat. So when I used to run marathons and ultra marathons with my husband, and my arch fell. So I tore my tendon near my arch. So for 5 years, maybe 4 surgeons later told me, you really have to do this. So they said they're just going to sew it, but it's a 12-week recovery. I said, I don't have 12 weeks. I got to take my kids to school. It's my right foot. I have to drive. So I came to New York, and the surgeon told me, I finally went twice to him. He goes, I could switch over your foot where I could make it straight, like it was crooked a little bit. Because if I make it straight and add bone grafting, not metal, just bone grafting, and if I put it inside the bones and I make your foot straight, I give you an arch, you won't have this problem again. Because if you do this surgery, you're going to have a torn tendon again because your arch is going to fall again. So he gave me an arch with bones in it from a cadaver. I think it was Chinese because my math is improving. And well, I'm craving Chinese food lately. No, but the truth is, no, I don't know where the bone's from. It's a little creepy, but you know what? It's instead of metal, he put it in, and let's see, it's 6 months already. I'm still limping.
And
When did you start this podcast? When did you start?
Oh gosh, I've been doing this. This is a episode where right now we're doing like 123. And so I started doing it on radio, and then